I'll show you guys what I carry for a 24-hour airsoft game. Gun Gamers Productions is hosting their first 24-hour event, Shadows of Thorn Valley, in July at Ben Franklin Range. So let's take a look at the kit that I have, some of the thought process behind it. Now you can set up your own loadout to be prepared for such a long airsoft event. What's up, Airsofters? My name is Lane, and one of the main considerations for this loadout, because it's for a 24-hour event, is being lightweight. You don't want to be weighed down with things that you don't need. So I tried to make sure that this was as lightweight as possible, again, because this is 24 hours long. Because of that, I decided to go with a chest trig. I went with the Eagle RRV. It is a classic. It's one of my favorites. And I think that this is going to be much better than a plate carrier because it still allows me to carry a lot of stuff that we'll get into in just a moment, but I don't have to worry about plates. You know, there's a lot of breathability on the back, and the RRV has padded shoulder pads as well, which is really nice. So taking a look at what I have on here, I have 3 mags right up front. These are EPM ones. They hold 250 BBs. Because Gun Gamers Productions is an event that issues you out ammo, I feel like this is plenty. If I want to carry more, I do have options. In this right-hand pocket right here, pouch, excuse me, this is a Cry 5.56-7.62 embedder pouch. This is also one of those on the other side, and I can carry a variety of things. I can either carry 2 extra magazines. They can hold my Baofeng UV5R, which has my push-to-talk right up here, or in this one, I have an Odin Innovation Speed Loader. These can also hold bottles of water, so there's a lot that you can do with them. So if I wanted to scale up on mags, I could have up to 3 in the front, 2 on each side, so 7 plus the 1 in the gun. However, I like having the Odin and I like having the radio as well. To the sides, the next things that are very important to have is water. Not only does Gun Gamers Productions require you to have water on you, it's also just nice to be able to take a drink whenever you want. I have a Nalgene canteen because these are considerably better than USGI canteens. And this is actually in a Haley Strategic saw pouch. I have the flap tucked in, and then I took the elastic that comes with these Cry pouches and put that over because I actually don't like the Haley as a general purpose pouch. And then on the other side, I have an Eagle V1 canteen. This holds my PVS 14. Because it's so expensive, I don't like to leave it with my ruck. I just like having the peace of mind knowing that it's on my person. And then in the center, I have my dangler. This is a replica of the Spiritus Long GP. And what I like about this is I can have enough food, I can have extra batteries, my tools, whatever it may be, dead rag, boo-boo kit, all of that fits in here without me having to have like a dedicated fanny pack or anything like that. It's woven right into the RRV. So with this alone, this is everything that I need. I could stay out there for 8 hours. The limiting factor is going to be the water, and if I really wanted to carry even more water, this one's a canteen pouch, I could put another Nalgene canteen in there and have 2 liters of water on me. I would be plenty fine to stay out there for a very long time. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is going to be the sustainment gear. We'll get into the rifle in just a moment. The unique thing about a 24-hour game compared to other events is that it requires you to be out there long enough that you're probably going to want to sleep. You're going to need some other items out there besides what you would just carry on a chest rig or in an assault pack. So because of that, let's show you my sustainment gear. And a lot of this is pretty affordable, stuff that you can find just about anywhere. And there's a specific way that I have my bag set up. So the first thing is my sleeping pad is on the outside. We'll just take that off real quick because I like to have something underneath me sleeping on the ground. If it's cold, 1, it's gonna suck all the heat out of your body, but 2, comfort. I like to be comfy when I sleep, especially because you don't get a lot of it. And let's talk about the ruck kind of in the opposite way of how I would put stuff in there. So we're gonna go from the bottom and work our way up. So the nice thing about this backpack in particular, and you don't need to spend a ton of money on a backpack. You know, you do kind of get what you pay for, but there are some affordable options out there. If this is your first large-scale game, you can buy a civilian ruck like this. You don't have to buy Mystery Ranch. You don't have to go out and buy Hill People gear. There's a lot of affordable options. I like this one because it opens at the bottom, so I can access stuff from the bottom rather than having to pull everything out to reach this. And the general idea is the stuff at the bottom is the stuff you need the least frequently, where the stuff on the top is going to be the stuff that you need, you know, ready access to. So on the bottom is my sleep system. We have the sleeping pad that I just put away, and then in this stuff sack from Sea to Summit, these are incredible. I would definitely recommend these for organization. Get them in different colors, a couple different sizes. In here, I will show on screen right now, this is a Snug Pack Jungle Pack. It's a 40-degree bag. I have that inside of a USGI Gore-Tex bivvy. Those are getting a little bit more expensive. The Snug Pack isn't awful. I think they're like 75 bucks. You can get a USGI Whoopee. Those are about 40, and they are basically the same rating. This is just going to be, you know, the foundation of it. I've seen a lot of people in this game being like, well, I'm not going to sleep for 24 hours. Maybe you won't. I like having the option. The other thing that I do is I bring all of my sleep system with me to the game. The reason why I do that is if I decide in the parking lot, like, oh, it's a 0% chance of rain for the night, don't need the Gore-Tex. I can just leave it in the car. I'd rather come to the AO with those options available than be, you know, in staging and it's raining and I'm like, wow, I wish I brought a Gore-Tex bivvy because I'm gonna get wet when I sleep. With everything, it's not the largest thing in the world. There's definitely smaller options out there. Again, when you spend more money, you can get smaller, more manageable packaging, but this is the most that I would bring, and this could very easily be scaled down. The next thing that I'm gonna have in here is going to be my spare clothes. And for 24 hours, you don't need a ton. I really don't feel like, especially at this game because it's in July, that you need a spare uniform. It can be nice if you get soaked, but realistically, again, just like the amount of sleep gear, that's a decision that you can make on game day. I generally don't run a spare uniform. So the next thing that I have that I would place in the ruck if I was going from the top is going to be my clothes. And I have so few clothes, in fact, that it's too small for this sleeping bag or this compression sack to compress down. I have an extra pair of underwear. I have, I believe, 3 pairs of socks in here as well, because you can never have enough socks. They don't weigh a lot. Just bring them. It'll be worth that, you know, ½ pound for you to bring those. And those all sit in this, which is a dry bag. There's also an extra underlayer t-shirt as well. The next thing I'm going to have above that is going to be food. And I brought out food like I was going to be cooking a lot just to kind of show you guys what options are out there. But I really don't feel like you need this much. So my food, my pantry basically, all goes into a Ziploc bag so that it's waterproof and again for storage reasons inside the bag. Complete cookies, the Cliff Bars, stuff like that. Stuff that's going to give you energy for a couple of hours are great to have on you. I think in a 24-hour game, you could easily get away with not bringing any hot food. However, for this example, I will show you my setup as if I was cooking food. I also have a ton of liquid IV. I have some breakdown stuff from an MRE, like the peanut butter, the jalapeno spread, just basically little snacks are what you're gonna live off of for this game. The next thing that I have in there that I should mention are trash bags. Trash bags are incredibly useful for not only waterproofing your stuff, but also airsofters produce a ton of trash. And as an event organizer, we please ask that you police your trash. Don't leave it on the AO. We want to be able to go back. So we want to leave it better than we found it. But trash bags always in the kit. And then the next thing that I have in here are going to be Mountain House meals. These are freeze-dried meals that essentially you just add water to, which I have on the outside of the pack. We'll talk about that in a second. You add boiling water to it, stir it, give it 10 minutes, you have a hot meal. These are great because hot meals are a definite morale booster. The only issue is they take 10 minutes. You have to cook them and prepare them, and you have to bring along a stove. For this example, just to show what you can carry in the average 30 to 35 liter bag, I have 2 Mountain House meals. I have one for dinner and one for breakfast. Again, for 24 hours, it's probably a little overkill. And then to cook those, I have my Jetboil, which just fell apart in the bag. These are nice because they just use little butane that you screw down onto the bottom, kind of similar to the propane that we use for airsoft, but a little bit different. In here, I have the fuel sits in there, the actual burner sits in there, a lighter, and because I used this for non-airsoft camping the last time I used it, I also have a French press in here for coffee. But these things are wonderful. There are cheaper and smaller options out there. This is the Jetboil. They also have like the MSR Pocket Rocket. There's a ton of options out there. These go for around $40 to $70, depending on what you're looking for. Some of the Jetboils get a little bit more expensive than that, but that's totally fine. And that's most of what I have in the ruck. The other 2 things I have are my helmet, and because I am going Almeric on tan, by game day, there will be a helmet cover on here. This is for my night vision. The reason this stays in the bag is I don't want to wear this for 24 hours. During the game, I'll be wearing a ball cap or a boonie, but come nighttime, I want to be able to grab my helmet from my ruck and be able to use my PVS 14. If I had like a nightcap or something like that, that would be much easier. However, right now, I'm just working with a helmet. This is a ACH. I have a little counterweight on the back. And then other than that, I have a Gore-Tex layer, which again, I just grabbed it for the purposes of this video. This should be tan for the loadout on Almeric. Just a Gore-Tex jacket, again, for 24 hours. I don't need the Gore-Tex pants, but if it starts to come down, this is gonna be something that I want. Even if the forecast doesn't have a lot of rain in it, it's pretty light, kind of packable. I think it's worth keeping on the top. And the reason this is on the top of your ruck is because if it starts raining while you're moving, you want to be able to have this be the first thing, not pulling crap out of your ruck. And that's really all that's in there. On the very, very top of the ruck, on the lid of it, I should say, is where I keep my hygiene gear. So that'll be my toothbrush, that'll be deodorant, baby wipes, when nature calls, stuff like that, some 550 cord as well. And that's everything that I have in this 35 liter or so bag. Yeah, I've got some spare batteries, another set of iPro just in case. That's everything that I have in here. And then I have, these are liter or liter and a half. Yeah, these are liter and a half Nalgene's on the side. So between the one that I have on my chest rig, that's a liter, these equal 3 liters. So I've got plenty of water, overkill maybe, but I'd rather have it. I feel like water's definitely worth the wait. And that's all my sustainment gear. I think that you could definitely scale down from that for this 24-hour game, for sure. You don't need that much. There's just a lot of comfort items in there. That kind of shows you what I have, and that could scale up to a larger, like a 40-hour game as well, and you'd be pretty comfortable. Now let's talk about the coolest part of the kit, and that is the rifle. This is the VFC SOTMOD M4 that you've seen on the channel for years because this is my favorite gun and it refuses to die. So we're just gonna keep on using it. And again, tried to keep it very simple. I have a aimpoint replica from Primary Arms, and on the other side, I have a Surefire flashlight. The only thing that's missing from this is I do have a iSafe PEC 15 that is gonna be coming soon so that I can use the IR laser in conjunction with my night vision. But I wanted a light, handy rifle because the hills of BFR suck. And you know, if I'm not committing to a machine gun position or something like that, as a rifleman, maybe as a squad leader, I just wanted my rifle to be incredibly handy. The only other thing that would be on here that isn't on here right now is my Viking Tactics sling. For a 24-hour game, you're gonna want a sling. For me to be a nerd in front of the camera, I did not need it, so it is not on the rifle, but I love this thing. It's just light and handy, and honestly, my favorite gun to date. So that is what I would bring to a 24-hour game. Again, the goal is to be light. We have a little too much sustainment gear. I could trim that down by 10 to 15% easy, but some things are worth their weight in gold. For the stuff that I'm going to be wearing all the time, I want it to be lightweight, want it to be mobile. So hopefully this helps you guys develop your own kit for 24-hour games. Again, if you want to check this one out from Gun Gamers Productions, my event company, I'll have information down in the description below to check that out. We have a couple of games this summer, so make sure to take a look at our website. I do just want to say a big thank you to our channel members who make videos like this one possible. If it wasn't for their support, I wouldn't be able to come out in the woods and be a nerd and show you guys all of this stuff that I've spent way too much money on. So a big thank you to them for making this video possible. My name has been Lane, and I will see you all next time.